Let's talk about the GOAT, Greninja. More specifically, Ash's GOAT Greninja. It all starts when Olympia explains that ever since hatching, Froakie was different. While the others of its species just wanted to play, swim, and live peacefully, he only cared about training. He was that one focused guy while everyone else was basically on vacation. But that came with a price. He didn't socialize, became an outcast, and was constantly clashing with other water Pokemon. The little dude basically grew up alone. Later, he ended up with Nurse Joy, who noticed something special in him and said he would only reach true greatness beside a very specific trainer. So he was taken to Professor Sycamore's lab. Several trainers tried to pick him as their starter, and Froakie rejected all of them. No hesitation. He could just feel none of them were the right one. Then Ash appears. Even before being caught, Froakie watches him around Lumiosa City. He sees Ash risking everything for Pikachu, sees the stubbornness and courage, and decides to act. When Team Rocket attacks, he jumps into the fight by himself, saves Pikachu from its own attack, defeats Wobbuffet, and blasts the trio away with Water Pulse. At that moment, it was clear he didn't choose to be captured. He chose Ash. Ash learns Froakie had been abandoned by a previous trainer, yet he's amazed by Froakie's loyalty. After helping save Sycamore's Garchomp, Froakie officially joins the team. Later, Sycamore even explains that Froakie probably chose Ash because he believed Ash was the only one capable of unlocking his true power. But at first, the partnership was rough. Froakie wasn't used to obeying anyone. In the battle against Fletchling, he ignored strategy, tried to handle everything alone to help Bonnie, and got completely wrecked. That shattered his confidence. He wasn't sad about losing. He was frustrated with himself. In the rematch, however, Ash trusts him, and he finally starts trusting Ash. He follows commands, uses double team, and wins. That's where real teamwork was born. Training with Pikachu, Fennekin, Chespin, and later Hawlucha, he began formed friendships, something he never had before. Even so, he still lost some battles. Diggersby, Sylveon, and others defeated him. Each loss hurt, but also made him more determined. His dream wasn't just to get stronger, it was to protect his friends. When he fought the Ninja Sanpei and his Frogadier, he got beaten again. But this time, he truly learned double team and soon after saved his friends, starting to gain a reputation as a hero. Against Gym Leader Grant, he pulled a crazy strategy climbing the rocks and defeated Onyx, but lost to Tarunt. Still, he didn't give up. Later, he helped catch Hawlucha and kept training non-stop. Bro. And then comes one of the coolest moments in his journey. During the confrontation against Barbercole, things got really intense. Ash and Sanpei were practically cornered, and Froakie realized that just effort wouldn't be enough that time. It was that classic protagonist moment. He pushes beyond his limits to protect everyone. In the middle of the pressure, the dust, and the chaos of the battle, Froakie simply evolves right there on the spot and becomes Frogadier. It wasn't an evolution because of a victory or training. It was driven by the instinct to protect his friends. And from that moment on, you could already feel that he had taken a huge leap, not just in strength, but in maturity as well. And then comes the legendary moment. In the Ninja Village, while protecting everyone from a Bisharp, Frogadier evolves into Greninja and learns Water Shuriken. But the most important thing wasn't the evolution. It was the phenomenon that appeared. Ash and Greninja started feeling each other's pain and movements. When they synchronized completely, Ash Greninja emerged. According to Professor Sycamore, it isn't mega evolution. It's something rare. It only happens when trainer and Pokemon have a perfect bond. In other words, Froakie rejected everyone else because he had been waiting for Ash from the very beginning. But controlling it was hard. Sometimes it activated on its own. Sometimes it left both of them exhausted. Against Alan's Megazord, they fought evenly, but lost. Then came intense training to synchronize emotions, thoughts, and movements. They improved so much they even faced champion Diantha. They didn't win, but she was impressed and basically said that kid would one day protect the entire region. At the Pokemon League came redemption. They defeated Sawyer's Sceptile in an insane battle by activating Ash Greninja perfectly. It was the kind of moment that gives you chills, man. In the finals, they faced Elaine and Megazord X. It felt like a legendary battle. The biggest Water Shuriken versus the biggest Blast Burn. But in the end, Greninja collapsed from exhaustion and Ash lost the league. Even defeated, they proved they were one of the strongest teams in the anime's history. Soon after came the Team Flare crisis. Lysandra tried to use their power, but Greninja helped save the entire region alongside Ash. He officially became a regional hero. And then comes the sad part. Zygarde's roots still threatened Kalos, and Greninja had the unique ability to sense them. He had to stay behind to protect everyone, meaning he couldn't return with Ash. The two said goodbye, not as trainer and Pokemon, but as real friends. Ash accepted it because he understood. The Froakie who was rejected by his own kind had finally found his purpose. And that's why many people consider Greninja Ash's true ace. It wasn't just strength, it wasn't just evolution, it was trust, partnership, and destiny.